Hello, Traveler and Paimon. What a fantastic night. I'm still immersed in all the happiness and joy, like a candle floating on water.
So are we, and that's why we're here to talk with you.
Is there anything you want? Is that where you're headed next? Fontaine? As far as I know, that nation operates in a judicial system.
Does their archon personally judge people?
No, there's a Chief Justice in Fontaine. Generally speaking, the Hydra Archon, Focalor, won't preside over individual trials. However, even then, Focalor will still make herself present at just about every trial. As Archon, she still reserves the right to influence the final verdict. Anyway, let's just say she's got, a very unique personality. After recent events, the Akasha can no longer function as it used to. I've given it some thought, and have decided to shut it down permanently. But this is definitely not a bad thing. Even from the beginning, I've been planning to shut it down. The Akasha's centralized administration of although people may initially feel, and as for the future of Sumeru, in preparing, the former sages have received their punishment. I hope that the new 6 great sages will be more focused on academics. Sumeru needs such leaders more than ever. The other big issue is that I've already taken some measures to address. You mean, what happened after the doctor put you to sleep? You guessed correctly. The top-ranked Fatui Harbingers, up to number 3, possess power comparable to that of gods. I was no match for him in that kind of situation. However, in spite of the bad situation, I still managed to make a fair deal with the doctor. I'm sure you remember the entity that changed your fate, the Heavenly Principles. In fact, the Heavenly Principles has been quiet since the Conria disaster 500 years ago. I used this point as leverage against the doctor. I told him that the Heavenly Principles may be awakened if I destroy the Gnosis. Although it was just a bluff, he still fell for it. I assumed that the Heavenly Principles wouldn't just stand by and let such extensive damage to its laws take place. And as for what I exchanged for the Gnosis, the exchange served as both punishment for the doctor, as well as a boon of new knowledge that I couldn't refuse as the god of wisdom. He's still in a coma. I've hidden him like how one would hide a feather. I know you have many misgivings about him, but as someone who had become a god, he has retained a number of very useful features. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't do any evil. In addition, there are still some mysteries left in him. His future will be determined by fate. Are you sure? Isn't there something else you haven't asked about yet?
Huh? You mean...
About your brother. While you were resting at Gandharvaville, I took some time to perform an Irminsul search for information on your brother.
Yeah! Isn't Irminsul a repository for all the information and memories of Tuvat? So there shouldn't be anything on her or her brother.
This is true in your case. Irminsul indeed does not have any information on you. However, there must be something different about your brother, because as it turns out, the world has recorded information on him after all.
What?
There's only one possible explanation.
But nothing about this makes any sense! Wasn't this your first trip to Teyvat?
According to the records I was able to access, your sibling suddenly appeared in Conria. After the Conria disaster, he began his journey through the 7 nations of Teyvat. But just as his journey was about to reach its conclusion, the Irminsul records on him suddenly become fuzzy.
What do you mean, fuzzy? Did something happen to him?
All I know for sure is that somebody, for reasons only they can know, is deliberately obfuscating his fate. And whoever it is, if they can do that, who knows what else they're capable of.
But even that wouldn't explain how he somehow comes from this world.
Something else I noticed was...
What's a descender? Paimon's never heard of it.
Look, I'm sure you must be curious about the information I received from the Fatui in return for my gnosis, right? A very important part of the intel was about this world's descenders. External beings, ones that don't belong to this world. Traveler, you are Teyvat's 4th descender.
Huh? So the Fatui count 3 other descenders before the Traveler, and her brother isn't even one of them?
That's right. My current hypothesis is that the first descender was likely what we now call the Heavenly Principles. As for the other descenders, I still need to verify their existence. It could take me some time.
Paimon's head's about to burst from all this crazy new information.
And yet, even knowing all this, I'm sure you must still have a lot of unanswered questions. I must say, I truly regret that I can't help you more as the God of Wisdom. There are many questions in my heart as well. I will need some time to go through each one of them. And soon, you'll also begin your journey anew and depart. I'm very interested in your future. If fate is the ultimate knowledge, then your future will be the ultimate fate.
Paimon's sure glad we got to meet you, Nahida.
The pleasure is all mine. I can't thank you enough. Alright, that's enough talk for today. If you ever miss me, just close your eyes, and maybe I'll appear in your dreams.
You must have a whole bunch of questions after our last conversation with Nahida. Paimon was ready to ask her a million more questions, but... Like, about these descenders. So, does that just mean people like you who come traveling to Teyvat from someplace else? And as for your brother... Whew, so many questions.
Come on, serious suggestions.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you should...
Yeah, well, I want to write my...
Yes, you came...
Did one of them just mention Tatarasuna? But that's all the way in Inazuma! Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here? Great! Let's go find out what this Tatarasuna mystery is all about.
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper. If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about.
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't...
Sawada, for the love... traveler,
Actually, we don't know.
I see. My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tataras...
hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. But in the end, apart from the swordmaker...
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some...
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kinda fishy to Paimon.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow! Did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to... It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the government records office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400... Even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma...
Wait, so there are 2 missing people in this story?
That's right! What's more...
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah,
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taking it...
the Kaidahara...
Sawada, you left out the...
Oh, yes!
Get to the point.
According to information acquired...
Puppet?
Aha!
No! Paimon just meant...
I agree. It does.
Oh, and please read my essay draft as well. Sawada was encouraging me to...
Wait! You're allowed to just...
Akaba, look. Your teacher has Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you see...
good point.
We have some other stuff to do.
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this,
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the ballad. Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh? After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many... Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like... the balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
Traveler, Paimon.
Nahida! Bad news. Did he escape or... Ah! It's him!
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey! What
questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the Balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me.
A deal? Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I...
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down?
But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us!
As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the Balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to the Balladeer's Power Plus. He's a former...
Wait a second. Farmer?
I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems...
Sometimes it's you using them. Other times, it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui. So as long as you have some value to offer...
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends.
Yeah, obviously.
Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how...
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Nahida, are you...
Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that?
Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the amount of information, so I asked the Balladeer to search...
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him!
I understand. But how things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires. Our minds have connected several times before. As Sumeru's deed, if this deal with the Balladeer hits my pleasure... I was gonna contact you. In fact, even though he only had... Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great. Thank you. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Wow. It looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you
Shut your beak!
I understand that
Sounds like a successful run. I need to be quite unlike anywhere. I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides. But it is...
Fine. Let's call it
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are gonna be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with... If there are no... Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy, it's unbearable.
We can start...
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow. So this is... Ooh.
Irminsul is closely intertwined. Pick your jaws up.
Why is it that Paimon...
Lesser Lord Kusa...
Can you still sense?
Yes.
Permission granted.
Let's go.
Hey, so...
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
It looks the same in every direction. No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a huge tree!
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The Balladeer's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk? Yes, I've also invited Paimon to join.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers. Well done. Smart and attentive as always. So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the...
Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into 2 people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
Oh? How interesting. Those 2 managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
So the Gesse got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you 3 are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be... Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was...
Wait! How did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh? Wait.
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement! You have to share it with us!
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatarasuna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace.
Is that so?
It's...
Whoa!
I have been in Tatarasuna for some time now. You have shown under your leadership. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatarasuna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry. Skills, blood, dream.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to... You allowed Akame to take all the credit for him. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
You flatter.
So you say, Escher.
My
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected, because I didn't want to speculate, and I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your... And recently, as you well know, none of the people who went out to get... But that doesn't faze you, does it?
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so...
Mikoshi Nagamasa may...
After all... Why, Mr. Niwa...
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil... I'm in charge here.
Judging from the look in your...
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever... I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you...
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this.
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an... And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity.
If you kill me...
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but...
Whoever you're working...
It's no trouble if you must know,
The Fatui? Who... What do you want?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it?
Look how even the righteous My device it is easier for a Make no mistake, even without you. That pure, innocent puppet would only end up...
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Nagamasa, he has nothing.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself. Think of me as I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your... Mr. Niwa? Jester, I have I'd like to
Hey!
Dottore. Good.
Was that... But why did we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Does it? You know very well what that...
Let's give him some...
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
I'm still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Nobody has ever did so. Now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the kabuki mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as a It was all a horrific experiment of all the unwitting participants. After the events you just saw in that the load was far beyond, the mechanic answered. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the balladeer was stunned that he thought Niwa had
Holy moly.
Yes. Only if he understands this.
Tori, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost... It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, are you...
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find...
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset.
Huh?
The reason why there are records about... Plus, he only...
The heavens...
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria. I don't know the detail. Did you get all that?
Yes.
Does this info count toward...
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take...
Huh?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My powers all but completely... I shared a secret with you. And now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me. Give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside? No, I can't do anything like... So tell me. Done.
Huh? What the? What happened?
Nothing. How... So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny, but if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Oh no, he's...
Oh, can you hear me?
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon,
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out!
I didn't think he'd be Did he keep some of his power hidden when he...
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
Don't be. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
We're out!
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody...